Hello, everyone, and welcome here tonight. Lucas Oil Raceway for the Meza Motorsports 125 here in the Thunderstruck Super Series late model. My name is Zach Wetstein. I'm here tonight with Jeff Paisley. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
Oh, I'm doing great. Looking forward to some great racing at Lucas Oil Speedway. Is it Raceway? It's a great little
Raceway, yeah.
track. Yeah, yeah, it's Raceway. I was thinking
I don't know
Speedway for
if I
some
said it
reason,
right now that I'm thinking about it.
but the Raceway is a good track for people to really kind of beat and bang a little bit on because it's hard to pass here.
Oh, yeah, it is. We're going to see, once again, it's like last night, that middle to high lane be the popular line. Last night we really saw that middle line, and I think that's going to continue. You don't want to be too close to the wall and maybe get into some of that dirt up there, but you obviously don't want to be on the low line here if you can help it. At least it has to be the same in these super late models, I'd have to imagine, but I wasn't paying much attention to practice. But this track is primarily that middle to high lane terms of the popular groove. So really find out that as we get into the race. If you're, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember watching back in the day when they used to run here quite frequently, and that high line was always dominant. You were killing the tires trying to pass because you were trying to get down below, and it was very difficult to get clear.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so tough here to get a good run off, especially when the angle of the turn makes it kind of awkward to run that bottom line, and then you have somebody on your outside. It gets tough, and I think that's kind of what we're gonna see tonight is a little bit of dive bombing, or we're gonna see people definitely wash up in front of people to get to that high lane, and that can cause wrecks if you not clear and you try to clear yourself. That can easily put yourself and the other competitor in the wall. So got to be very careful with that here tonight. And yeah,
Yeah, the slide
let's
job will be something we'll
slide
probably
job.
see.
Yeah. Um, I mean, we saw it last night, and I have full confidence that we're going to see it again tonight with how tough it is to pass. And let's now head into your schedule here. Still a while to go left on the schedule as we head to Lanier National Speedway next week. Irwindale Speedway, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, Iowa, Bristol, Richmond, the Bullring, and Five Flags Speedway to round out season. Field will always be capped at 20 cars. If you get that many in a session, top 15 in qualifying advance. We have 14 tonight, so that remaining 5 spots will be determined by a B main. That will not come into play tonight with only 14 drivers here tonight. They'll all make that main feature. One fast repair, no extra sets of tires. All races are open setup, so if you're interested in racing these super late model cars with us here in the Thunderstruck Super Series, make sure to look us up on iRacing, put in an application. Really, I mean, they don't really discriminate against anybody. They'll allow you in if you're a professional or if you're a newbie to iRacing. But you just got to keep in mind that it is open setup. They do, I believe, in Discord, kind of give a general setup out to people, and they can work on it themselves. But open setup league, and
Which always makes for interesting things. If you can build a good setup and you're an okay driver, you'll do really good. But you can be a really good driver with a bad setup and not do very good at all.
and once again, we're seeing Jason Warren just like week one. He is alone in terms of his team that's usually here with Donald Clark and Kyle Martinson. They are not here once again. So, and that opens the door for Jason Warren to try to grab the third win in a row to start out the season.
And building just an insurmountable kind of points lead as well.
Yeah, he's 11 points ahead of Shannon Wilder and 12 ahead of Josh Oswald. Shannon Wilder has had a good start to the season so far. Going to be starting in 10th for this one, but a lot of time in the race. 125 laps to get up through the field, but already starting inside the top 10 are rating up. So we'll head over there and oh no, warm up. Sorry, they still have a warm up. Not used to not having a B main, at least with one driver, so I'm not used to just going straight to the warm-up. But, yeah, Jason Warren already 11-point lead over Shannon Wilder with 2 wins. Average finish, obviously, of first because he's won both of the first 2 races. And, well, it makes sense that Shannon Wilder and Josh Oswald are second and third to him right now. They both have an average finish of 4th. Or I believe for drivers that have run every race so far, that is the second best behind Jason Warren so far. So having consistent season through 2 races so far. But, I mean, like I said, with that schedule, still a while's way to go until 5 flags last race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're not seeing a bunch of big names here, so it'll be interesting to see if this field can catch Warren tonight. Because it's like Warren against the rest of them, it would seem like, since he's won the first 2 races.
Oh, yeah. I mean, by now he has a target on his back because even when you win one race, that kind of, people keep you in mind. But they already know about Jason Warren. And so the fact that he's already won 2 in a row kind of does put that target on his back to gain a victory over him. And if you can beat Jason Warren, I mean, that says a lot about your setup and about how you drive because, I mean, those guys have said before that, a setup is nice, but you still got to drive that race car. And so if Jason Warren's starting on the pole spot tonight, I believe, and so if someone's able to get past him throughout this race, maybe he slips up a little bit, you can gain that control over Jason Warren and win. That definitely kind of puts a statement out there that you're here to win as many races maybe Jason Warren can.
Yeah, do you think that Jason Warren might be kind of wanting to get out in front of everybody just to be able to get a little separation from everybody because people won't drive him quite the same? They know he's won the first couple of races. They've got to get by him. They might not be as nice getting by if they have the chance to.
I mean, I think we've already really seen this season, at least in the first week at USA International. He was able to get the lead and gain separation. He ran away from the rest of the field. So I absolutely think that's going to be his goal tonight is to just, first of all, he wants green flag laps. And then with the green flag laps comes separation, and he can try to put as many people a lap down as he can and run away from second. Well, speaking of positioning, we're going to now give you your grid as they are actually gridding up now. Jason Warren grabs the pole spot here tonight with a 21.988, so he just clears that 22-second mark. Cody Pannell starting this one in the second position. Goes to Michael Swink. Harold Rothery starting in 4th position. P5 goes to Aaron Ward with Fry Hubbard starting this one in 6th. 7th goes to Elliott Longenecker with Josh Oswald starting this one in 8th. Dan Wetstein qualifies 9th tonight with Vincent Isabella in 10th. Shannon Wilder 11th with Terry Bates in the 12th position. 13th is Thomas Capuano with Kyle Robertson 14th. And Frank Barber, you're going to round out the field here tonight. We actually got up to 15 drivers, so someone joined during qualifying, but still that doesn't put us over the B main, obviously, as we have one.
Yeah, that's good. Don't want to have to mess with that.
One thing to look at, Cody Pannell on that 9 machine. I mainly know him from the ARCS series with Elliott Longenecker's league, and man, he was absolutely dominant in that series. I think he had 4 wins out of the 10 races and won the championship. I'm not sure how he is in these cars, but he's starting up front for a reason, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do with that 9 machine. Guys, get ready to go off. We're going to go off the iRacing green flag to begin. So this is the chance for Cody Pannell to try to get a good jump on Jason Warren.
Here we go.
Green flag is out, and that is not going to happen. A good jump for Jason Warren has him clear. Side by side for 3rd. That's Harold Rothery in the 1 machine. Michael Swink in the 51 loses that battle, but he can fall into 4th.
Looked like Fry Hubbard was able to get a decent run off the top there and stay ahead of Elliott Longenecker.
Oh, Harold Rothery on the outside of Cody Pannell. He got a really good run, and that's going to keep Cody Pannell down on the bottom, and he's getting passed now by Michael Swink, and he has a line behind him in contact. The drivers make it through okay, although that 51 machine now has some right side damage, along with Cody Pannell in the 9. He's going to have some right side damage.
I don't think a little cosmetic damage will be an issue on this track.
Oh, and a stack up. That's Michael Swink gets into the wall, and he's going to lose 3 spots just with that little slip up.
Just couldn't get out of the wall once he got into it, and he stayed on it a little bit.
Still a lot of racing going on. 4 laps now into this initial start of the race, and Michael Swink, who was just in 3rd, back to 6th as they battle behind him. That's Aaron Ward and Sam Wettstein in the 98. Strong move on the outside to gain the 7th position. He's already up 2 spots from the start. And speaking of someone who always makes big moves in a race, Josh Oswald, he started this one in 8th, already up to 4th.
Yeah, Josh, he doesn't seem to qualify well, if he qualifies at all. And when he does, then he's towards the back. But he always comes through the pack. He's a good racer. He gets through the pack real good.
Absolutely he does. And your leader, Jason Warren, with a 1.2 second lead over Harold Rothery already. So this is kind of what we talked about pre-race, is we can get some green flag laps together. Jason Warren going to look to create a lot of separation from himself in 2nd place. Do a quick onboard here with that 32 machine while we're still under green. See, just biding his time to get back on that gas. You definitely have to be very patient around this racetrack.
Yeah, because it's the high line, you really got to be careful when you get in there, because you'll get up there and you'll side smack that wall. I do that when we're on those tracks that you run high quite often.
Yeah, if you enter on the high side and you overrun the corner, you're absolutely going to meet that wall.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you push a little bit when you get in there and you kind of hit it, or sometimes you're floating a little low, you get in the gas and it shoves you up towards the wall. And then that wall is not always consistent on how it grabs you either. Sometimes when you do touch it, it'll slow you way down, where other times it's like almost doesn't do anything.
Cody Pannell, who had a close call with Michael Swink early, lost a couple of positions. He's back up to 3rd and catching Harold Rothery. But and when we talk about, it's tough. It's easier to catch somebody, not so easy to pass them. This track, screams that, because of that high line. It's just so tough to pass on that inside line. So Cody Pannell has fought his way back up to that 1 machine as he sits in 3rd right now. But what is he going to do to try to make a pass if he can get there?
Yeah, that's not an easy task, and as the tires get worn more and more, it's going to be harder and harder to pass.
He dives down to the bottom, but that's not going to help him make the pass, maybe get a little bit closer. One thing I've noticed, I think, with that 1 machine is he's running a little bit of a higher line than others. He's really running that high line where you're seeing kind of, we saw our leader, Jason Warren, really running the middle line.
Yeah, some guys just do that better than others. Some guys really like the high line. You got people like Kyle Larson and whatnot that are very, very, very good on the high line, better than they are on the low line generally. So these kind of tracks really will benefit those guys.
Yeah, it seems like the dirt guys, right, are always the ones basically putting their quarter panel on the wall. So, they know how to do it best, really. They're used to putting those quarter panels basically right on the wall, if there is one at the racetrack that they're racing at. And here comes Josh Oswald behind Cody Pannell. Cody's been running that bottom line, and he's going to open the door for that 17 machine. Josh Oswald going to take advantage of it. So, the 9 almost slips up into him.
That low line is just not paying off. You kind of just got to use that as you're right behind the other car, and then if you're going to dive bomb them, dive it right from their bumper, and then hope you come up in front of them and not into the side of them.
Yeah,
or the wall.
Yeah, if you're going to make that slide job move work. You're going to have to be really, in my opinion, side by side with them into the turn. If you're not even to their quarter panel, a slide job here is just not going to work. There's not enough room. So Josh Oswald working to the bottom, and honestly, with Harold Rothery running that very high line, if you can run that middle line successfully, I mean, there's still a line there to be run where you can make a pass on the inside, but it's still, you just see how tough it is, and here comes Cody Pannell right back for that spot.
You just get such a run coming off the high line that it's very hard to overcome with the way that this track turns.
Great battle here for the second position as Harold Rothery keeping both Josh Oswald and Cody Pannell behind him. How long can he do it? We're only 18 laps in. No extra sets of tires in this series, so whatever you have at the start of the race is what you're going to have at the end, so you got to take care of them early on. And with this battle, we've been on this battle for a while. Jason Warren is 7.6 seconds ahead of Harold Rothery already.
Yeah, it's like a totally different dimension.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they're running 22, 23-second laps. Well, Jason Warren, the only one running a 22. So 23-second laps. So Harold Rothery and them now 8 seconds behind him are still 15 seconds ahead of him. But we're only 19 laps in, and they're already 8 seconds back. If we stay green the whole race, I'm afraid we might see the whole field a lap down.
Well, that ought to give Jason Warren some bragging rights if he can pull that off.
Josh Oswald, he's going to dive it down to the bottom. Can he slide up in front of Harold Rothery? He chooses not to. He's going to ride out the corner on the bottom, and it works.
Sure. Yeah, he got it. There you go.
What a move. And now the Harold Rothery's going to dive to the bottom, and that might cost him the third position as here comes Cody Pannell. And it does. There's just no grip down there. And like you said, that top line just gets such a run off that Harold Rothery held on to that third or second spot for as long as he could, but he finally gets worn down. And let's see if Josh Oswald can gain back any time on Jason Warren that he's already lost. I mean, if Josh Oswald is, maybe if he can compare to Jason Warren in speed, he's going to need a caution because 9 seconds just seems like too much to come back from, even with 100 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Going to be interesting to see what he can do with that clean air, though, now that he's in second. And Fry Hubbard in fifth now working on the back bumper of Harold Rothery. So
I'm thinking Harold must have run his stuff down. His tires must be on fire or something. He needs to cool them off.
Yeah, maybe that car's just not too good on the long run. With it being an open setup league, you're going to see those differences and who has a long run car and who doesn't. And Harold Rothery, who started in fourth and made his way up to second early on. So, yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, he made up 2 spots on the start of the race, and maybe being that aggressive burnt up his tires. And I do remember back now when early on, about 2 or 3 laps in, he was only about a second back from Jason Warren, and he was about a half a second lead over Josh Oswald and Cody Pannell. So, yeah, maybe trying to get to Jason Warren burnt him up. But only 25 laps in, if his car's already starting to get worse, the rest of this race isn't going to be much fun. Fry Hubbard now trying to figure out how to pass him like Josh Oswald was able to.
Well, I can definitely commiserate with Mr. Rothery on this one because a lot of times I'll get up there and I'll be running in first, second, third place. And then all of a sudden my stuff seems to be gone and theirs isn't because I've overdriven it, diving the corner or whatever. And you just start pushing and you kind of got to just slow down. And other guys that have just been a little more ginger on the throttle or getting in the corner a little bit better are not as burnt up and they're able to get by. Here comes Fry Hubbard trying.
Fry Hubbard. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say Fry Hubbard going for it there.
He had a chance with Harold Rothery touching the wall. I think if he took a little bit of a faster line in, he could have slid up. But, Harold Rothery's going to get in the wall again, and that should complete the pass for the 14. But here comes Harold Rothery back on the inside, and they don't make contact somehow. I mean, they were inches apart.
I think Harold must have held off on the gas because he looked like he was a little bit faster going to come out of that corner. But
and they're wrecking on the front stretch. Hard contact. They keep it straight, but that is big right front damage to that one.
Yeah, that's going to really slow him down.
Car on the wall back here. I didn't know if they were wrecking, but Shannon Wilder was in the wall, but not wrecking, so we're staying green. I thought for sure that we were going to have a caution there when those two got together on the front stretch, but they keep it going. Man, I mean, take a look. Let's take a closer look at that. Right front damage is pretty severe, but we are at a short track, so see how much that truly affects the one car.
Got to wonder if that knocked out his toe at all.
Yeah, I mean, you see the splitter as well. That's bent up. Not a great sign for that right front. But he's running fine so far ever since. See how that car's driving in the cockpit.
He's definitely hammering the turning. He's eating those tires up now. He's definitely pushing, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that right front's going to hurt him in terms of anything being broken, but those tires might as well be broken because they look like they are burnt out. He is working that wheel, but credit to him, still holding on to a top 5 as of now.
He could probably go for one of those cautions now, get some damage fixed and getting some, well, there is no tires, so I guess it really makes no difference other than closing up the field.
Boy, was I wrong. Or maybe not wrong, but I asked the question earlier with Josh Oswald in the clean air. Can he catch Jason Warren a little bit? Well, he's lost 3 seconds, so that's just not going to happen. And if we, and it's a big if, but if we stay green the rest of the way, if we can go green to checkered with no cautions, I absolutely have to believe the whole field's going to be a lap down because, I mean, Josh Oswald's 12 seconds back from Jason Warren, and Jason Warren's running 22-second laps right now, so about a 10 to 11 second difference and still a long way to go, 91 laps.
Yeah, he is catching the field, and that's going to slow him down just a little bit. So it'll be interesting if Josh can close up on him while Warren is going through a bunch of the cars.
Already made his way past Aaron Ward in the 99. That's P11, so that's Elliott Longenecker in the 5. Actually just pulls over, so nice move from Elliott. He's going to let Jason by, and now that's the 10th place driver a lap down. So we have 8 drivers left on the lead lap behind Jason Warren right now. 9 in total. As we are now 36 laps into this one, green so far, and he's, like you said, this is kind of the meat of the group right here, where we have 4 or 5 cars racing each other, and he's going to have to be careful getting through this group. That is Sam Wetstein in 9th, the next to go a lap down. And as each driver goes a lap down, they are the next driver hoping for a caution as soon as they get past. So right now, Sam Wetstein hoping for a caution so he can get the lucky dog as he's in that position, but not anymore. He's going to have to go up there and pass Michael Swink as he goes a lap down. And Jason Warren, not only credit to him, but credit to these drivers that are going a lap down. They are making it easy for him to get through, which you like to see.
But they are side by side in front of him.
There's Harold Rothery. He's fallen back to 7th now, and he's going to go a lap down with that right front damage, and I'm afraid he might lose even more. That car just does not look comfortable right now. As Shannon Wilder in the wall in front of our leader, but he hugs the wall, so that's going to cost him. But I mean, if you're Shannon Wilder right there, you'd much rather hug the wall and lose a couple positions than try to get off the wall and then kind of get shot off of the wall right into the leader.
That's for sure.
Well, I said that was kind of the meat of the group, and he got past it pretty easily, and that's now 6th place and back, a lap down. Now the top 5 are the only drivers that remain on the lead lap, and Terry Bates is the first or the last car on the lead lap, about 2 seconds ahead of Jason Warren.
Well, that gaggle of cars is going to hold up Josh Oswald now that Warren's passed him.
Josh Oswald has started to run away from Cody Pannell a little bit, at least. Saw Cody Pannell kind of all over the back bumper of Josh Oswald earlier. It's about a half-second gap right now.
Got to say, this is just a real dominating performance from Jason Warren.
And Shannon Wilder, a nice drive back by him. I mean, you saw him lose 2 positions, I believe. And, oh, he hits the wall again. Just about to say, he lost 2 positions hitting the wall, and he gains them back almost instantly. So that 10 car driving pretty well right now. Still green so far. A great race. Start out, no cautions yet, but still 82 laps left to go. So plenty of time for Jason Warren to lose this comfortable lead of his, as he's getting closer and closer to Terry Bates in the 8 machine, who, well, he will go a lap down eventually if we stay green, but a nice drive for him so far. He started in 12th up to 5th. Jason Warren getting closer and closer.
I got to turn my fan on. Hold on.
Jason Warren really running that middle seam very consistently, and it looks like that car is not really too uncomfortable for him. Caution is out. Terry Bates saved by the bell as the caution comes out. We go back here, Harold Rothery. I don't know why I didn't go over to him. Here we are with Harold Rothery. Sam Wetstein moves up and gets into the 1 machine. He gets stopped on, well, not stopped on track. He gets back rolling.
Oh, that was not good.
And then it shows Shannon.
Bad luck gets worse.
Then it shows Shannon Wilder wrecking. I'm not sure if something happened to him as well. Oh, Shannon just kind of pulled it down and stopped and got out of his car, it looks like. Wow. I didn't expect that.
Well,
Jason,
sometimes like things, yeah.
Well, this call right here makes you think maybe Jason Warren either didn't put enough fuel in the car or nobody's safe on fuel tonight, because there's no other reason he'd go down to pit road, in my opinion.
Wouldn't think so. Maybe he was thinking there was tires or something.
I think he knows that there isn't. So, yeah, that just looks like a fuel call to me.
Well, this just got a whole lot more exciting.
Well, thankfully for Jason, he only falls back to 5th. With the work that he did putting 6th and behind a lap down, he'll only fall back to 5th as Josh Oswald takes the lead.
I am showing 8 people on the lead lap now.
Yeah, but that'll be once they get the wave around.
Oh, they're going to get the wave around because they were between. Okay. Those were the guys that were between him and Josh Oswald.
Yep. They're going to take that wave around and be back on the lead lap. And, well, that'll leave 9th through 12th a lap down. And I believe that Michael Swink and Kyle Roberts are going to get back on track. So there will be, between these 3 drivers up here, there will only be a couple of cars that are a lap down in between them and the lead lap cars in front of them, because they will have to start at the tail end of the field behind the lap cars.
That was a really good long run for an opening stint.
Yeah, about 46 laps. It'd be interesting to see Jason Warren work his way, or try to work his way through these 4 drivers in front of him now, because we know how much speed he has. I mean, 13 seconds ahead of 2nd place and lapped up to 6th. So, going to be interesting to see how he's able to try to make passes, because we haven't seen him have to pass anybody but lap cars, and they've been relatively nice to him so far. So he's going to have competition in front of him now. They're going to do everything they can to hold him behind him. But yeah, definitely agree with you. A great start to the race. I mean, we saw last night this track can be a wreck fest if you keep stacking them up 2 by 2, kind of, with the term cautions breed cautions. It rained true last night and start out with 46 green flag laps or so. Night, good good start, but a long way to go still. 75 laps left. 74 when we go back racing.
Some of the drivers are bantering back and forth. Everybody's watching out for Jason Warren.
You have to, right? So, Josh Oswald, Cody Pannell, your front row. Behind them, Terry Bates, Fry Hubbard, and Jason Warren. Top 5 lead lap cars. Josh Oswald is off. Nice jump for him. Gets him out clear for the lead, and really everybody up here single files out. There's Jason Warren to the inside, trying to make a pass on Terry Bates. But even for Jason Warren, that inside's going to be tough.
Yeah, he might find that it's a little different running in the pack.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they were willing to move over as going to be lap cars, but they're not going to be moving over for nobody up there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Dirty air, and drivers not willing to move over, but, man, he makes them look like they moved over. He passes Terry Bates in one corner like it was nothing.
Yeah, it looked like Bates got in there maybe and slid up.
And, I mean, he just absolutely dominant lap there. Makes 2 passes in 2 different corners.
Gotta wonder if he's paying them.
Here's $5. Let me pass you, please. As now Fry Hubbard going to try to find his way around Terry Bates, or actually I think the other way around. So a nice pass for Terry Bates. And he was that 5th place driver about to go a lap down. That caution kept him on the lead lap and now on 4th. Now Josh Oswald with an 8/10 lead over Cody Pannell, but that's going to grow a little bit as these two race, and not as successful of a move right now for Jason Warren, but he does get side by side. You keep that momentum up into the next turn as the 9 car gets into the wall, and that should help that 32 clear as he does, along with the 8 up to 3rd. That's Terry Bates. So 2 cars past Cody Pannell there with that mistake as he got into the wall. And, well, unfortunately for Josh Oswald, there's now nobody in between him and Jason Warren.
Well, let's see how quickly Jason can catch him, because Josh is not one to roll over.
Oh, yeah.
Warren made those passes look pretty easy, but I don't know if it's going to be as easy when it comes to Josh.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not taking anything away from Josh Oswald. He's going to fight as hard as he can, but, man, with how strong... Yeah, with how strong Warren has been tonight, it's going to... You're just kind of worried as it's already, 2 tenths have been carved into that lead, and with nobody in between Jason Warren and Josh Oswald, that 32 machine has just looked absolutely dominant tonight, and still about 67 laps to go, so more than enough time for Jason Warren to try to make a move. And we've seen him really run that middle seam very, very consistently here tonight. He has not kind of ran away from that. He has not ran any other line, really.
He just ran right up to Josh Oswald. He must have been saving his stuff pretty good, just being able to run up there by himself. But you'd think with the speed that he was doing, he'd be tearing his tires up the most.
All right.
But not the case. That's what always gets me in these races, is I think I run really kind of slow, let a few people by me, but then I'm still, when it gets to that point where all the fall off is, there it is.
As Jason Warren to the bottom, but like you said, Josh Oswald not going to hand it over. He's going to make him fight. But can Josh Oswald make him fight and stay back there for 65 more laps? That is really the question.
Can he fight him hard enough to make him use his stuff up to where he doesn't have it anymore and can't keep up? That would be something to see.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and Josh Oswald has done it at other tracks and other cars where he really makes you fight behind him, and then whatever advantage you had, like you said, kind of goes away once you burn up the tires trying to pass him. So, I mean, absolutely, he's going to try to do it, and he's doing it so far as Warren tries once again to the bottom. Doesn't make it work. So each time he runs that bottom, he's going to be burning up that right front more and more.
Well, he's got a lot of time, so he's got to pace himself. There's no need to get over anxious. They're way out in front of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Oswald, he can hold off Jason Warren for 60-plus laps and keep him behind him. He would absolutely deserve every bit of credit that he would get, because this isn't going to be an easy task. Doing it well so far. 61 laps to go now as Jason Warren dives to the bottom.
Just can't get quite enough dive to be able to just whoop and get right by him and make him have to slow down, but he's sure trying.
Yeah, and sometimes when you make that move, you try to also kind of make that person that you're trying to pass freak out a little bit, because if you can get a good enough jump into the turn and slide up in front of them, you can get a good enough run where you can slide up in front of them, and then you can hold them behind you. So sometimes if you're on that outside line and you see someone dive to the bottom like that, you maybe try to overdrive the corner to make sure they can't slide up in front of you, and that's where you make a mistake. So Josh Oswald has not made that mistake so far, but he's ran that outside line with conviction and has held Jason Warren behind him for multiple laps on
smooth up top. Smooth up top is a good way to be on this track.
We are 58 laps out from the checkered flag. And Josh Oswald doing a nice job so far, but Jason Warren gets to his quarter panel. They both get squirrely. Jason Warren just not enough run into the turn to try to jump up in front of him. And this is introducing Terry Bates into this battle, and I think that's when Jason Warren really is going to get impatient, is if Terry Bates gets to his back bumper.
Yeah, he's definitely at that point, because Terry Bates does seem to be catching him. Got a caution and a race broke out up front.
Yeah, Jason Warren chooses to pit. And, he's gotten back up to second from where he restarted in fifth, but still getting held up by Josh Oswald, and you got to give Oswald credit for doing this well and this long at holding Jason Warren behind him. Jason Warren gets a heck of a run. He's going to dive to the bottom once again. And he's not really, I say dive, but he's not diving to the bottom. He's actually going to that bottom, trying to run a smooth line instead of trying to kind of dive bomb or slide job somebody, or Oswald.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything crazy yet. Ooh, got loose there.
I think as the laps tick by and Terry Bates gets closer, I think that he will try something a little more crazy.
Oh, I think he's got to. He's there. He's faster than what Josh is, I think. But it's just he can't get past. He's going to have to somehow swoop Josh into making where he thinks he's going to go low. Josh tries to block low, and then he goes high.
Yeah. If you're Josh Oswald here, you're not trying to block that bottom at all. If you go to that bottom, you're going to give up the lead. So I think Oswald just has to stick with this high line, and if Jason Warren eventually wears him out and makes a pass on the inside, you just got to tip your cap, because, I mean, as long as you run that high line, that's going to be the hardest way for Jason Warren to pass you. If you try to guess along with Warren and block the bottom and Warren goes high, that's going to make it a lot easier for him to pass you. Oh, as he gets in the wall, that might cost him.
That did cost him there, but he's back on the gun. Let's see.
Oh, but they're going to be side by side.
Oh. Jason, if he dives it, he might be able to pull out in front. No, not quite. Yep, there he goes. He's got it now.
And finally, the mistake that Jason Warren was waiting for is Josh Oswald gets into the wall, finally wears him out, and Jason Warren back to the point here at Lucas Oil Raceway with 51 laps to go, coming to 50. And there's a battle for third now going on behind him as Cody Pannell working on the back bumper now to the inside of Terry Bates. I mean, man, Jeff, you couldn't ask for a better first 76 laps of a race to only have one caution in between. And now on to lap 77 as Terry Bates gets into the wall.
I'll tell you who was lucky there. Cody Pannell was definitely lucky that he didn't get shot off that wall.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seems like whenever I bump that outside wall, it tends to want to shoot me down.
Yeah, it just says goodbye. Just kicks you down.
It's like one of those bumper things on the bumper pool.
Right. No chance. So 8 cars on the lead lap right now. Terry Bates, you're looking at right now in that 8 machine. He is your biggest mover through this race so far. Started in 12th and up to 3rd. But as you see, Cody Pannell trying to take that away from him. As Cody Pannell actually takes the spot. Sorry, I was looking at my timing screen, looking at something else, and he makes that pass. So Cody Pannell back up into the podium position in 3rd. Here comes Fry Hubbard in 5th. Now going to come up and try to make a pass on Terry Bates as well. Sam Wetstein back here trying to hold off Elliott Longenecker for 6th, running that middle lane.
Yeah, Sam's had a good, clean race. Although I think he did get into Harold Rothery that time.
Yeah, one little incident, but he's bounced back to hold on to a top 10 right now, trying to hold on to 6th. But here comes Elliott Longenecker on the bottom. No luck for that 5 machine. Go back to...
Sam is not going to make that easy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. But we've seen anybody who's on that high line is just not going to make it easy on you unless you're a lap car. Just because, you don't really care if that person, is faster than you. You're going to hold that outside line and try to hold on to that position as long as you can, no matter what. So we've really seen that all night, but clean racing. We haven't seen really anybody on the bottom line slip up too much. Go back to the lead real quick. Jason Warren 3.4 seconds ahead of Josh Oswald now. I imagine he's just taking it easy in there. 3.5 second lead with 41 laps to go. Just needs to ride smoothly and hope for no caution.
Oh, and we got a caution.
Oh, yeah. Right in front of our leader. He avoids him, and I believe that race between Elliott Longenecker and Sam Wetstein may have ended ugly.
Yeah, I think it got a little violent there.
It's the battle. Elliott Longenecker to the top and just misses the turn. Wow, he had no chance there of making that turn.
No, something seemed to happen there.
I think he just dove down too low and too fast. Yeah, see, just too fast. No chance of making that turn. And that stacks up Aaron Ward along with Kyle Robertson right in front of your leader. And now Elliott Longenecker has to sit through the painful part of this where you have to sit there and let everybody go by you so you don't come down in front of somebody.
Yeah, and that'll leave him a lap down too.
Not going to see Jason Warren pit this time, that's for...
Michael Swink is shown in a lap down also. Maybe he'll get the lucky dog.
And he is the first car a lap down in 8th. So right?
Yep. He's warning him I'm coming on the high side.
It's always great when somebody warns you that they're the lucky dog because it's never fun when you're sitting there just comfortably, you know, under caution, not thinking about anything, and all of a sudden somebody just comes shooting up your outside. It's like, whoa, where'd you come from?
Yeah, I seem to recall that crew chief used to say it, but then it doesn't say it anymore. But I'm not sure. I think it used to say it, but then
I'm not sure.
one of the updates they took it out or something.
It's unfortunate if they did. It'd be nice. Some nice information to know. So with that caution, we're going to go back racing with around, 36, 35 laps to go. Basically a shootout now to the end. Jason Warren, all he needs to do is get a good jump, and I mean, with what speed we've seen him have, if he can get a good jump and be clear for the lead, I think he'll be okay. Well, so far in this one, only 2 cautions through 88 laps. Definitely a great race, and you know, after the race last night with the modifieds, I was a little worried about these cars, but drivers have put on a good show.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic race. That was really exciting there for a while with Warren trying to get past Oswald.
Yeah, that was really the only battling for the lead we've seen all race long. Josh Oswald holding off Jason Warren, and well, he did so for a good amount of time, but eventually he just got worn down and eventually made a tiny mistake, got into the wall, and that cost him. As lights are off, we go back racing with 35 laps to go. Front row, Jason Warren and Josh Oswald. Cody Pannell, Fry Hubbard behind him. We haven't seen Fry Hubbard up near the lead. I mean, he's been inside the top 5, but not near the lead. So this is maybe a chance for him, along with Cody Pannell, who started this race on the outside front row.
Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall. It's been a good green flag run for both of those runs. If you're going to go, you got to go now. But that could cause cautions.
Yeah, I mean, this is the part of the race where cautions do stack up because just like you said, you got to go.
You got to go. Yeah, it's time to go now.
Green flag is out. Jason Warren gets a great jump, clear for the lead, and, Josh Oswald clear for second place. Now that leaves the battling for third as Fry Hubbard on the outside trying to get his way inside the top 3, and maybe a little bit of net code there because those drivers weren't necessarily that close to the wall, and they both scraped the wall. Or at least it showed they did with Sparks as Fry Hubbard makes the pass for third. So a nice top 5 run for him all race long, and late in the race he gets inside the top 3.
Yeah, this is going to be good here. I mean, it might not necessarily be for the lead, but these guys are pretty even once you get out of, get with Oswald, although Oswald seems to be quite a bit better than some of these other guys right now also. So, but I think that Hubbard and Pannell will definitely be putting on a show here right now.
Yeah, Oswald has been the only one when he was in front of Warren to actually show that he could hold off Warren for a considerable amount of time. You saw Warren pass everybody else back here when he was in 5th pretty easily. So yeah, I'd say that 17 machine, it's one of those cases where he has a fast car. He just unfortunately has one person that is faster than him in this race. That just so happens to be Jason Warren, who's won both races to start the season. Battle for 6th right now. Sam Wetstein on the outside, Aaron Ward on the inside. They come close to making contact. Aaron Ward keeps it out of him, but somehow keeps his position on the inside. I don't know what happened to the 98 machine out of turn 4, but did not get a good run, and he's going to lose that 6th position. As Cody Pannell passes Fry Hubbard back up for that 3rd spot, and here comes Terry Bates as well in the 8 machine. Fry Hubbard Was in third, I believe, to start this lap. Falls all the way back to fifth after Cody Pannell made the move on him. Oh, man, Cody Pannell trying to get everything he can. Actually gets into the wall on entry. 28 laps to go now in this one. Jason Warren, a 2.6 second lead over Josh Oswald. He can really just set this thing in cruise control the rest of the way as long as we don't have a caution.
Yeah, he's pulling away there. Everybody seems to be pretty content right now. Nobody seems to be going really, really hard at it.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get every position you can, obviously, but you don't want to overstep your boundaries and cause a wreck trying to get a spot. So I think you still, you know, you have to go, but you have to be patient as well, because it doesn't matter what you do. If you're too aggressive and you make a move that you know you probably shouldn't, you can bring out a caution here late. So I think that's maybe why everybody is maybe content right now with where they are. And it's really kind of gotten stretched out anyway, so there's not many spots, at least up here in the top 5, where someone can make an aggressive move for a spot. They are battling back here for 7th, though.
Yeah, they are starting to bunch up right there. That's probably the where you're going to see the biggest race for position now.
Yeah, Sam Wetstein just not been able to run that high line and hold on to the spots like we've seen some drivers do tonight. As Michael Swink, who just got that lucky dog the last time around, gets around Sam Wetstein for 7th. And, well, Sam can maybe lose spots on track here to these drivers behind him, but he can't lose an actual position, as Elliott Longenecker behind him is a lap down, along with Harold Rothery, Kyle Roberts. So
I'm sure
really,
Longenecker wouldn't mind another caution right now. Get back on the lead lap.
Yeah. Really, Sam doesn't even have to battle these guys too hard, because it's not for position, and you don't want to get into a wreck here late battling people who can't even take a spot from you. So smart move just to, you know, let them go. You know that these 3 are going to race hard because they all want to be in that lucky dog spot. So probably smart to just let them by. Because you talked about this is where, you know, the most battling's going on. And, I mean, that's, you know, probably, other than the lead, the most important spot on track right now to these drivers is this lucky dog spot. And Harold Rothery wants to get up to Elliott Longenecker to get that away from him. But that only matters if a caution comes out. And with everybody pretty spread out, unless a solo caution happens, not too many chances for a caution for these guys. But, oh, we almost saw one there. That was very close, as Michael Swink makes a pass on Aaron Ward for 6th. Back to the point here, 6-second lead for Jason Warren with 20 laps to go.
Again, what a dominating performance. He did have a little trouble getting by Oswald there for a while, but once he got by, he just took up. That car is from a different kind of manufacturer.
Yeah, I think it's an alien race car. I think he got that from a different planet. He is just, I mean, he's on a different planet right now. It's
got ludicrous speed.
As Fry Hubbard back up to 4th, a pass on Terry Bates. I don't know if Terry Bates maybe got into the wall a little bit, but Fry Hubbard back up to 4th.
I've been watching a bunch of BBC America, and they've been playing Spaceballs.
Oh, yeah?
So Spaceballs have been on multiple times over the last week.
How do you, is that like, oh, his caution is out. Terry Bates. Nope, not, there's Terry Bates. Down pit road, so I'd have to imagine, yep, I think he just hit the reset button and got a tow. Oh, man, he just kind of stopped it. See, I'm not going to lie, and this isn't at Terry Bates necessarily, but just pull it into pits, you know. Pull it into pits and stop your car, because if you stop it on track, iRacing cautions are so, I don't want to say weak, but I mean, they're just so quick to pull out the caution in iRacing. And even if you stop below the race surface to tow, it's going to bring out a caution. So just go down pit road and you won't bring out a caution. You can still leave the race if you want.
Yeah, some tracks are different. I mean, I've had them where you don't get a yellow flag because you're down there but against the wall. He pulled down a little bit. He must have thought it would grab, but it didn't.
I don't know. Every track I've seen where someone pulls down and resets and stops on track, even if it's not on track, it's on the apron, so it brings out a caution. So I think the iRacing cautions have gotten weaker as they've got on.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I guess I'm not sure. I don't generally just stop on the track or try to pull down to pull off.
And I'm kind of surprised there, unless he has something going on that was immediate. Kind of surprised with only 17 laps to go that, maybe the race isn't going the way you wanted it to, but only 17 laps to go. Unless, like I said, there's something personal going, which if there is, then, we wish him best of luck and hopefully everything's okay. But if not, I mean, only 17 laps to go, not that long of a race to get through, even if you're not having the race of your dream.
Well, maybe the ice cream man was going by and he heard it and he had to go get an ice cream.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
I hope
on the
it's
West
something
Coast.
That simple. I hope it's something that simple.
Hopefully. I mean, I guess I wouldn't blame him. Depends what kind of ice cream they got, though.
Yeah, I could go for some ice cream.
Yeah, I tell you, I've fallen in love with the cookie dough blizzards from Dairy Queen. About the only thing I get from there.
Sounds good. I'm still doing keto, so I don't really have any of them.
Yeah.
Although we're starting to take a fun day, like on Friday night, it's like a carb day.
Okay.
Kind of like IndyCar carb day. But
Right.
That's so we do stack up on carbs on Friday. So like we can have we're going to have pizza on this Friday.
Hey, there you go.
So happy about that. But I'm going to have to get some ice cream too now that we're talking about it.
I mean, anything you talk about on broadcast, you have to eventually get, right? You don't talk about it for no reason.
Yeah, but then the question becomes, what do you want? I like Rocky Road. I like mint chip. There's just so many different ones. Cookie dough is good. There's Reese's one. I mean, there's all kinds of the different specialty ones.
And I gotta tell you, as a kid, when the ice cream truck I had an uncle who ran his own ice cream trucks, and so he would come by, would get free ice cream, and man, when I was a kid, those SpongeBob ones were the target. So, okay, enough about ice cream. We got some racing to do. It's Jason Warren and Josh Oswald once again, your front row. 12 laps to go when we go back racing. We are off. The green flag is out. Good jump.
Josh got a little loose.
Yeah, he did. Good jump for Jason Warren, and now Cody Pannell going to work to the inside of Josh Oswald. That opens the door for Fry Hubbard. Can he sneak himself into that outside line? He does. Execute the pass now.
I was not thinking he was going to get there.
It didn't look like it.
Yeah, I thought 9 had him cleared, but 9 never pulled up.
Yeah, I was a little baffled like you. I thought he was pretty clear for a while, but he doesn't pull up, and Fry Hubbard with 11 laps to go, trying to get himself back into that podium as the front two run away.
Yeah, he might have known that Fry had a good run on him, and if it was going to be close, just not move up. That's what I do generally. If it's too close, and rather than maybe cause a wreck, I just won't go up.
10 laps to go in this one. Jason Warren out to a 1.1 second lead. If a caution doesn't come out, you'd have to assume he can lock this one up with the speed he's shown. Josh Oswald, and this takes nothing away from Josh Oswald. He has had a great race. He started in 8th, and he's been inside this top 2 now really the entire race ever since he got up here, and just one spot short, and only one car that's really been faster than him, and that's all it takes to not win a race. As Cody Pannell looks back to the inside of Fry Hubbard, and Fry Hubbard got into the wall. This battle for third, I feel like it's going to last till the end of this race. It's a 3-car battle right now. Michael Swink who just a couple of cautions ago got his lap back. Now has worked his way into
cleared there.
Has now worked his way into the top 5 in that 51 machine, and yep, clear for third place is Cody Pannell. Battling back here once again, Elliott Longnecker and Sam Wetstein. Remember, Elliott kind of shot through the corner last time these two were battling. So he's probably going to be a little bit more careful on the inside. He makes the pass. Back up to this 3-car battle for third place is Cody Pannell. You saw him make the pass for that spot, and if he's able to run away with it or if they're going to continue to battle. It looks like really the battle is now going to be on for fourth as Michael Swink in that 51 back, to the back bumper of Fry Hubbard.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how cars are going to handle next to each other after they've already had an accident together.
Gosh, I'm starting to think if you scrape the wall on entry into turn 3, it actually makes you faster, because the amount of people I've actually seen scrape the wall into the turn has been more than I could have ever imagined, to be honest with you. Just trying to get everything they can and end up scraping that wall.
Yeah, it's hard because, you know, if you're trying to stay up by the wall, if you go in just a little hot, you push up. If you go in a little slow, you start pounding the gas and you start getting a little loose and correct, and you can overcorrect and get yourself back up into the wall.
4 laps to go in this one. Jason Warren just wants to see it go green the rest of the way. We do have 3 green-white checkers for overtime just in case, but like I said, Jason Warren does not want that with 3 laps to go now, a 4-second lead over Josh Oswald.
Yeah, for me personally, these wall running tracks are difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult to judge how hard you need to enter the turn, because, you know, you're kind of used to running tracks where you run the bottom and you can kind of arc it in, but you can't arc it into a high line, so you got to be a lot more careful on entry. But we've seen Jason Warren. He really hasn't run that high line. He's run that middle lane with a lot of success.
Yeah, I think the middle lane is the best when you're alone. But when you're side by side with somebody, you want that other side by side car below you because you're going to get a better run off the corner.
Absolutely. The white flag is out for Jason Warren. Absolutely the most dominant car in this one. Down the back stretch for the final time. Started on the pole spot. He can get through 3 and 4. We'll finish where he started. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Jason Warren, 3-peat to start the season, wins at Lucas Oil Raceway.
In bowling, it's a turkey. What is it in racing when you get a 3-peat?
I think it's just a target on your back and money rewards for somebody to beat you. I think that's what a 3-peat in racing is. They start putting bounties on your head when you get 3 in a row.
Yeah, well, I think Jason's going to get a bounty on his head if that's the case.
Well, I was going to say he has a chance to burn it down before other cars come and hit him, but he already hit the wall.
Well, he doesn't care about the car looking nice, I guess, because they're all going to come in and kill him. Oh.
Josh Oswald always with the best hits. And there's that car is still somehow rolling. See, not with, it's hanging on by a thread though, and he's going to end the motor right there. That car's still rolling. Come on, no way.
I think it just blew up when he nudged the nose on the wall.
That car is still rolling.
Nope, it's still going.
That is ridiculous, iRacing. Gosh, I mean, it's amazing, but it's ridiculous as well.
Well, it is strange sometimes you do see a car that shouldn't be running.
Yeah. Puffs of black smoke coming from. Go ahead and get our race winner in here with us. Hey, Jason, it's Zach and Jeff in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up, fellas?
Man, well, first of all, congrats on the win. And with that 3-peat, I think we're going to see maybe a bounty target on you here soon.
Welcome all comers right now.
So take us through through kind of when you pit on lap, I think it was lap 50 or so. First of all, were you maybe short on fuel and you had to pit there, or are you just trying to make it interesting?
We'd have been short on gas by 3 or 4 laps. Um, we'd have been okay if we knew that the other caution, or I think there's 1 or 2 more cautions came out, but wasn't going to take that chance. It was Oswald could have won this race. Like my right front was completely burned up, and I could not have passed him on the inside, no matter how hard I tried. So I decided to follow him for about 5 or 6 laps, right on his rear end, and wait for him to have a little hiccup. And it happened, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, during that race, we were watching how Josh went. By the way, congratulations there. But we were watching as you were trying to get past Josh Oswald, and when you just weren't quite getting enough to get there. I was thinking you might be using your stuff up, but you were smart and you backed it down. You, Josh doesn't make a lot of mistakes, so you were kind of really hoping. Do you think you would have had something for him a little later if if he wouldn't have been making a mistake?
Later on, maybe a lot of people will choose around that track to use the very high line, kind of near the wall. My main line throughout the entire race was there's a middle groove around the middle of the track, and I put my left front tire on that and let it rotate around that. So, I mean, Josh was using that high line a little bit, so my preferred line was a little bit below his, so I maybe could have made something work later on. But I definitely, I mean, I pushed the agenda pretty hard there, and I couldn't make it work, and I was getting a little nervous, so I just tuck in behind him, make sure his rear view is completely full of me, and see if he makes a mistake. And I don't know if he overdrove or what happened, but it happened, and we sent it from there.
Well, that was definitely a dominating race. That was something to see there, Jason. Congratulations. Do you have any shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to you guys for doing all the great work you do broadcasting. 09 Motorsports, Daniel Pope, our engine setup builder. We basically took the Myrtle Beach setup we had and just changed the gear. And I think it might actually be better on this track than it was at Myrtle Beach. Is an absolute rocket ship. I can thank my beautiful fiance watching the race tonight, cheering me on, giving me encouragement. Uh, Oswald for racing me clean. Everybody that came out. Warren's Utility Buildings, Carports, and Garages. Um, Joaquin and Oswald for basically running the league. And that's about it. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Magic Mike. His father passed away the other day, so thoughts and prayers are with him. Um, and Mike's my man, so I'm just going to keep winning races for him.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, we're all sending our prayers out to him. Congrats tonight, Jason, and look forward to talking to you in the future.
All right, see you guys.
Take it easy, man.
Before we head on to Josh, I hadn't talked about that today, but yeah, I didn't know that he had actually passed away. We had heard, I'd heard things about, he was sick but yeah, just send
Yeah,
prayers out to Mike, because you never like to see parents go, even though it's going to happen. It still sucks.
I definitely want to pray for Mike. I hadn't heard that yet, so sorry to hear that, Mike. God be with you, man.
We're going to move on to Josh Oswald, our second place finisher here tonight, who actually just, I think, moved himself in here. So I appreciate it, Josh. But you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It was a great race for you, and I talked about it kind of throughout the race. Once Jason got past you, it was unfortunate because you had a great car. It was just, one car was better than you tonight, and it obviously that was Jason Warren. But take us through how your car felt, and yeah, how your race went.
I mean, it felt really good all night. I mean, throughout the whole race. I mean, and once I got to the lead, I knew if I could keep it, on the top, I knew Jason was going to have a hard time on the bottom. And for some reason, at one corner, I entered the corner the same way I had been all the previous laps, and it just slid up and brushed the wall, and that let him get enough of edge in the next corner to clear me going from the bottom. And I mean, my setup was good, but Jason was in his own zip code tonight. There was no catching him once he got out front.
You need to put a driver's suit on your picture that you have that comes up on our monitors here, because with that trophy that you have on your picture, you could be doing a celebration at some point. I know that you've won a bunch of races. Is that why you picked that picture?
Yeah, that was from one of our championship banquets. I just went with one with the trophy that fit nice. I mean, I had a couple Victory Lane pictures I first tried, and they didn't fit quite right in there. So we'll get one eventually, maybe this year, to put one up there.
Well, that was some great racing, man. I really thought you might be able to hold off Jason for a while after he'd made that pit stop. When he'd made that pit stop, I would figure you would think he'd catch back up to you. Did you think if you held that high line, you could be able to hold him?
Yeah, I think if I could have kept it, not brushed the wall there. I mean, I could see he was digging on the bottom, but I was able to just keep the momentum up top and come out ahead out of each corner. I think if it wouldn't have slid up and brushed the wall there, I mean, it would have been a long, stressful battle there to the end, because I think there was still about 40, 50 laps to go at that point. But I think I could have done it.
Yeah, I mean, the way it was going, if you wouldn't have brushed the wall, man, I think you might have had it. So, congratulations on your second place. Do you have any shout outs tonight?
Oh yes, I'd like to thank Magic Mike. I hope everything. Hope he's watching. If he's watching, hope everything's well with your family, Mike. Hitman Manzo, Joaquin Meza for helping me out with everything in the series, and also all three of those guys sponsor the league here. You guys up in the booth, everybody else, that helps me keep Thunderstruck going. Jason Warren, Shannon Wilder, Aaron Swink, Elliot, all those guys that often race control for us. My little brother Danny and his girlfriend Callie down in North Carolina, they're watching tonight. Appreciate that. And I think I mentioned you guys up in the booth. I appreciate that every week. It's keep digging. Try again next week.
Yeah, man. I look forward to seeing what you can do next week, and look forward to talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Congrats.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Oswald, your second place finish. Your biggest mover of the race started in second. So him. Yeah, we're kind of. I mean, you talked about it. Sometimes he doesn't qualify that well, and I think he said it before in the past that he focuses on his race setup, and then whatever happens in qualifying happens, and that's I think why we see him start further in the back most times, but he always finds his way to the top 5, top 3 most of the time. So it worked out for him no matter where he qualifies.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just better at racing than they are at qualifying. So it just you see it in real life, you're going to see it in this.
All right, we're going to move on to our third place finisher, Cody Pannell. Hey, Cody, Zach and Jeff in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, man, first of all, congrats on the podium finish. And really, the second half of that race, you guys, the battle for, I think it was third through fifth, were honestly the most entertaining battles going on throughout that race. And so, first of all, that was, congrats on a great run. It was a lot of fun to watch, and take us through how it felt on your side.
Yeah, this was. I haven't run a whole lot of races in the super late models, so this was a whole new experience for me altogether, really. And to only have the original tires that we started on for the whole race, it made it pretty challenging. Um, and there at the end, we had those 2 or 3 cautions. I can't remember. And I kept getting stuck on the inside, man, and you couldn't make anything happen on the inside. So I would end up having to let the fourth place guy by me, and then just try to get back around him and be patient. And but yeah, other than that, really good race. Congratulations to Jason, and I appreciate these guys letting me run with them.
Yeah, Cody, congratulations, man. I don't know that I've had you on here before, but congratulations on your third place finish. Uh, do you think you had anything for Josh if you could have been able to stay up there with him?
There was a few times where I felt like maybe I could pull up to him, but that's a case where getting to him is one thing and passing him was going to be a whole different thing. This track was just really high side dominant, so it was hard to do anything or make anything happen on that bottom. But I felt like Josh and I were pretty evenly matched in pace. And maybe if we could have got some fresh tires there halfway through the race or so, we could have had a pretty good battle.
Well, it was a great race. It was fun to watch you. You have any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Garland Roberts Trucking, my wife for putting up with this hobby of mine, and Team Sideswipe back at ARCS, the league that I run in. And thank you guys for broadcasting.
Well, great race tonight, man. For you not racing these cars much, you had a great run. So congrats on a podium finish, and look forward to talking to you.
All right, thank you guys.
Congrats.
All right, that was your third place finisher, Cody Pannell, wrapping up our interview. And I'll send it over to you while I pull up the results for last thoughts on tonight's race.
Well, it was kind of what we were thinking from the start, really. I think with being highline dominated, hard to pass. We knew that Jason Warren would be fast, maybe not quite as fast as he was, but he is definitely making those wins come. He wants that championship back. He doesn't like being where he's not champion, I think. So it is going to be interesting to see how he can keep running and keep moving forward. These other guys have some work to do with those setups to be able to try to keep up with Warren, maybe move up with him a little bit, and hopefully they'll be able to do that. Looking forward to the rest of the season. I think it's going to be fun seeing how this goes. And of course, we'll probably get Donald Clark in here at some point. He was giving a shout out on the broadcast to Jason. So maybe he'll make it back in here at one of these points as well, and some of these other guys that we see up front. So anyway, back to you.
Yeah, unfortunately for these other drivers that watched Jason Warren win first three races, is he's built a decent points lead already with. But the fortunate thing, drivers, is we still have a good amount of races left. We have 9 weeks left of racing, starting with Lanier next week. So still enough time for other drivers to come in, win, and try to make it a points battle for that last race at Five Flags. So, it's a great start to the season, absolutely, for Jason Warren, but far from over, and he still has work to do, and I'm looking forward to it because I know he's not gonna let up. He's gonna try to win every single race. So I'm looking forward to seeing how far he gets with it. Obviously, he's not gonna win every race. Eventually, he's gonna have to give up a race, but looking forward to watching all these battles that we're going to watch throughout the next 9 racing. And great race tonight with only, I think, 4 cautions. Yeah, if you don't have anything else to say, I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, that was really good. A couple of long runs to kind of see how everybody was shaking out, but not excessive with the cautions. We did get some, though, so we did get to see some exciting races and close racing. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, we had actually 3 cautions, so a total of 15 caution laps out of 125, and 99 laps led for Jason Warren, 26 led for Josh Oswald. Yeah, so that kind of your race stats there is Jason Warren obviously done. Great race tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in every single week for these series. Appreciate that as well. But for tonight, it's been the Meza Motorsports 125 here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Zach and Jeff in the booth from Rebels Racing Network. Have a good night.
Good night.